Alright, Pro Laptop versus the Apple M2 MacBook Pro versus the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. Which is better? Let's go over the raw stats. First, externals. The M2 MacBook Pro is Apple's just newly refreshed premium laptop with incredible performance, starting at $2,000 for the small version and $2,500 for the larger model, while the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra is Samsung's Ultrabook with also great specs, starting at $2,400. Both of these laptops are eligible for student discounted pricing, so that's very nice. And with these prices in mind, now let's get on to their form factors. The M2 MacBook Pro comes in two sizes, 14 and 16 inches, which both sport Liquid Retina XDR mini LED displays and 120Hz refresh rates, while the Galaxy Book 3 only comes in one size, but that model is still very impressive, with a high-resolution Super AMOLED display that's also 120Hz. So it's actually quite tough to determine which screen is better, especially since reviewers haven't been able to test them out at the moment. Therefore, this section is a tie for now. But note, the Galaxy Book 3 is a little lighter than the larger MacBook Pro, while the MacBook has a slightly higher resolution. Next, for connectivity, both laptops are pretty alright. The M2 MacBook Pro sports 3 USB-Cs, a microSD card slot, an HDMI port, a headphone jack, and a MagSafe charger, while the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra comes with 2 USB-Cs, 1 USB-A, an HDMI port, a microSD card slot, and a headphone jack. So they're both pretty good, but the MacBook has a little bit more, so it wins this section ever so slightly. Now, cameras. Both these laptops are pretty good. Each sports a 1080p FaceTime camera with its own autofocus technology, which overall is very nice. No contest here. So for the externals, the M2 MacBook Pro has better connectivity and price if you factor in the smaller version, while they both tie for form factors and cameras, with some smaller wins in their respective categories. Now let's move on to the internals. This is where things get funky. The M2 MacBook Pro can either be spec'd with the M2 Pro chip, which is what you get for the starter price, or the M2 Max, which is the top tier option, and that performance is quite fantastic. Apple Silicon has proven to be extremely effective, especially on Apple programs on Macs. But notice I said especially Apple programs. We'll talk about that in a little bit. On the flip side, the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra comes with an Intel Core i7, which comes standard, or a bit more, an Intel Core i9, which both are really great CPUs, especially the i9. And it comes with a dedicated GPU, an NVIDIA RTX card, which adds some incredible value to this laptop, and makes this comparison a little unique. Because for gaming, the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra is the better choice. It has the GPU to pull it off. But for typical day-to-day usage, that more so depends on what programs you'll be running. So for the most part, both devices are really great in the internal spec category, so we'll make this a tie. And we'll continue this conversation in a little bit. Meanwhile, for storage, both devices are a bit lacking. 512GB starting for both, with the Book 3 Ultra having a short promo of 1TB if you pre-order. So yeah, not great for their prices, but for the moment, point goes to the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. And now, battery lives. These are a bit more theoretical in the sense, since reviewers haven't been able to test these products out yet. But we do know that Apple Silicon has been very impressive with battery life in the past, especially because of its app optimization. Moreover, Apple claims the laptops can have up to 18 to 22 hours of battery life, compared to Samsung saying up to 17.5 hours, which is still good. So we are going off loose claims here, but slight point goes to Apple. Additionally, both laptops have security software for your needs. And finally, their operating systems. This is where the majority of their differences actually lie and what the following conversation will be based on. The M2 MacBook Pro runs Mac OS, while the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra runs Windows, meaning we are comparing two laptops with slightly different styles. The M2 MacBook Pro is best for those who use Apple optimized apps for creative work, while the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra is better for all kinds of programs, because Windows is a bit more ubiquitous except for those Apple-specific apps. Therefore, which is better? We'll discuss that in my verdict. But in summary, the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra has more storage with that temporary promo, while the M2 MacBook Pro has an allegedly better battery life. And now, let's get on to my verdict. So, now that we've got the raw stats out of the way, which is the best laptop for you? Well, that depends. As I stated previously, what are you looking for in a laptop? Are you interested in buying something that will run extremely well and efficiently on Apple optimized apps in particular? Or a laptop that can run practically anything you want on a PC, but with not as good optimization or performance as the competition? Because each computer has its strengths and weaknesses. To go over them real quick, the MacBook Pro is a far better computer if you prefer to run Apple-specific programs. Things like Final Cut Pro and Pixelmator Pro only run on the Mac and run really well. well. On the other hand, the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra can run games on the computer, with far better compatibility with Steam and the like. In addition, for the engineers out there, Windows computers are far better for your school-specific programs such as AutoCAD, which the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra will run far better. So really, the answer here is, what are you looking for in a laptop? Because that will determine which is best for you. In my opinion, if you're creative who won't run too many games or Windows-specific programs and you like Apple products, you should get the M2 MacBook Pro. But on the flip side, if you're a professional or an engineering student who needs a Windows computer or who just likes the Windows operating system, I'd recommend you get the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. Frankly speaking though, both these devices are pretty great and will probably satisfy your needs either way. However, the best one for you really depends on you, and of course, your needs. So make sure you focus on your needs. And that was my comparison of the Apple M2 MacBook Pro versus the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. Apologies for being sick, but the show must go on. My name is Seeroost. It's spelled like Cyrus, pronounced like Sea Rooster, just take out the terror. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day. Peace.